Vibes of India. I'm Janvi. As Gujarat elections are approaching, we are starting a series of discussion on the political drama going on in the state. Our today's topic of discussion is Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat. With me, we have Deepal Trivedi, the founder of Vibes of India, to discuss about this political party's presence in Gujarat. Well, to start with, what do you think about the political campaign that Aam Aadmi Party has in Gujarat, where they are giving a series of guarantees on electricity, healthcare, education? What do you have to say about that?
I think the Aam Aadmi Party campaign is effective, it is impactful, it has garnered quite a bit of attention in Gujarat. Like, this is after quite a few decades that a party other than BJP and Congress has garnered so much attention in Gujarat, because essentially Gujarat has been a dual party, state. So it has been either the Congress or the BJP. This is quite a refreshing change, and I personally believe that the Aam Aadmi Party's campaign in Gujarat is pretty impactful.
Yeah. But their political campaign was also criticized, saying that they are just promoting Revdi culture in Gujarat. Do you think it is Revdi culture, or is it the right of every Gujarati to get free education, free healthcare, free electricity in the state?
Yes, you're absolutely right that this welfareism, I think welfareism is an important part of every state. When we're talking of democracy, or like you look at socialism, to dismiss any welfareism as a Revdi culture, I don't think is the right approach in any liberal democracy. Of course, illiberal democracy, where it's just populism, nationalism, majoritarianism and authoritarianism that determines the constituent of a nation or a country. It could be different, but welfareism is an important ingredient of a democracy in a country like India. Even the BJP, what it did in UP, right? Whether it was the gas subsidy or the Ujjwala scheme.
They are also promoting maybe something.
That also is welfareism. What is different is maybe Aam Aadmi Party's welfareism that the BJP terms as Revdi culture is not as holistic in its approach and its implementation as it should ideally be. But I would not dismiss it as Revdi culture. I believe that
it's the right of
every individual, though when we talk of it electorally, Gujarat is not Uttar Pradesh, right? Gujarat is not Bihar, Gujarat is not Odisha, Gujarat is perhaps not even, Punjab. So, Gujarat, I don't know how the people are going to lap up to this welfareism.
And what do you think about the perception of Aam Aadmi Party as the most vibrant party as of now? What do you think they are doing exactly right in the state, and where are they missing out?
Okay, I'm intrigued because you said Aam Aadmi Party is the most vibrant party. What makes you say that?
No, they're actually on ground. They whether it's about any issue, they are on ground opposing it. They are on ground raising the issue, which I think Congress did miss out on.
I definitely would say that Congress missed out, and Congress has been still missing out on this aspect. But I would not call Aam Aadmi Party the most vibrant party of Gujarat, because I would admit that Aam Aadmi Party has a very strong social media presence. But to translate social media presence into reality or into vote gathering,
it's a different
issue altogether. because you have to consider what Gujarat stands for, what Gujarat is.
Yeah.
Right? Gujarat has had a cult figure since 2001. Like our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, is sort of a cult figure in Gujarat. So we have to remember that. We have to also remember that Mr. Modi, who in 2002 was portrayed as the Hindu Hriday Samrat, he still holds that position, and it's in a very consolidated manner that he has been holding this position, this connect with the masses in Gujarat. So I would not call Aam Aadmi Party as the most vibrant. Now you asked what it is doing right and what it is doing wrong. I think, as I said, it's after decades that there is a third party in picture in Gujarat. If we take off it since the 90s, after the Janata Dal Gujarat faction of former Chief Minister Chimanbhai Patel merged into the Congress, right? There was a brief episodic inception and rise of Rashtriya Janata Party that was floated by Shankar Sivagela, which also eventually merged with the Congress. But even though Shankar Sivagela was one of the most prominent leaders of Gujarat, or for that matter, the Parivartan Party, which Keshubhai Patel had floated, the RJP, the Rashtriya Janata Party, or the Parivartan Party failed to make any noise in Gujarat. Aam Aadmi Party at present is making a lot of noise, and this is after many decades that such a triangular contest would be witnessed in Gujarat. What it is doing wrong? I would not call it wrong. What I find it's slightly
missing out.
Missing out is the scattered approach to specific issues.
Okay.
I find their approach slightly scattered. No, I find it very scattered. Rather than one solid approach or a strategy, I find it slightly scattered.
They're standing up for multiple issues. Is that the reason? Like, be it for Jawans or for electricity or...
See, I think Aam Aadmi Party, it's supposed to stand up for the Aam Aadmi, and maybe these are the issues that the Aam Aadmi is facing. But Gujarat is a different state politically. And the BJP has been in power for so many years in Gujarat that people tend to identify everything that is right in Gujarat with the BJP.
True.
So I think it is a daunting task for Aam Aadmi Party also, to carve a niche or to make its presence felt or create a space for itself. So I think it's a good thing that the Aam Aadmi Party is doing it. In a democracy, it's always nice to have different
voices,
parties and different voices, right?
But when it comes to voice, like, what do you have to say about Aam Aadmi Party's utter silence on issues, important issues like Bilkis Bano? Or they recently came out with a list of over 20 candidates for Gujarat polls, and none of them are Muslims. Do you see it as soft Hindutva of Aam Aadmi Party?
This is a very tough question to answer. But yes, Aam Aadmi Party's silence on Bilkis Bano issue is very deafening and very definitive. Right? But if we just rewind a little more, we realize that even when the anti-CA protests were held in Delhi, though Aam Aadmi Party rules Delhi, they maintained a silence. So Aam Aadmi Party has always been like this, whether it was Punjab, whether it's Delhi, and now in Gujarat. Why so? Because Aam Aadmi Party's target audience are essentially those who supported BJP
Yeah.
initially, but have now moved away from BJP, maybe due to unemployment, due to corruption, or this price rise. But their ideological base is Hindutva.
Hindutva.
So maybe, this is the target audience that the Aam Aadmi Party is striving for
Yeah.
as its vote bank. So maybe they do not want to alienate with that core ideology of their
Yeah.
potential voters. So that is the reason that Aam Aadmi Party has opted to remain silent on this issue. And regarding you saying that, there have been no Muslim candidates in their
candidates list, yeah.
right? But Gujarat has 182 seats, and to give a benefit of doubt to Aam Aadmi Party, as of now only 20 candidates have been declared.
Yeah.
And there is never a dearth of even Muslims who would support the Aam Aadmi Party, because we have had Muslims supporting the BJP in Gujarat.
So we cannot outright say that Aam Aadmi Party will not appeal to the Muslim voters of Gujarat.
Yes, in Gujarat it's a different scenario altogether, because for Muslims also entrepreneurship matters.
Yeah. So let's see. I think time will tell.
Yeah.
And recently, Manish Sisodia was in Gujarat, the deputy Delhi CM, and he said that CBI conducted raid on his residency, and at the same time, Congress gave this statement that the raid was late, but they welcomed the CBI raid on Manish Sisodia. Do you see that such statement really mean that Congress is threatened by Aam Aadmi Party's presence in Gujarat?
Well, Congress has had a diabolical approach on this. There are certain leaders who have been screaming quite aggressively and criticizing the CBI raids.
Yeah.
And there is another set of Congress leaders who have been welcoming this.
it. Yeah.
So I don't see any consistency in their statement. But regarding Congress feeling threatened, it remains to be seen whether Aam Aadmi Party is going to dent into Congress vote bank,
Yeah.
right, as it has done in the previous elections.
Yeah.
If we look at 2017 elections also, or we look at the municipal corporation elections, right? What has happened is that it is the Congress vote bank that the Aam Aadmi Party dented. They had their candidates winning 5,000 votes, and we saw Congress candidates losing by that number. So in the previous elections, it has been the Congress vote bank that the Aam Aadmi Party has dented.
Yeah.
Right? That is why Aam Aadmi Party in the past has been referred as, the B team of the BJP.
Yeah.
So it remains to be seen whether it is the BJP vote bank, because at this point of time, Aam Aadmi Party is also taking on the BJP very aggressively. So it remains to be seen whether it's BJP or Congress.
True. And just yesterday when Kejriwal landed on Ahmedabad airport, at the same time the social media handle of BJP Gujarat put out a very caricaturish video of Kejriwal and his guarantee schemes for Gujarat. Do you think that this Kejriwal and this Manish Sisodia effect in Gujarat is also affecting BJP in some way? Do you see a tension building up?
Definitely. Aam Aadmi Party has created a buzz in Gujarat, and they are being very aggressive in its approach to take on both the BJP and Congress at this point of time. So it's both the BJP and Congress, both of these parties feeling tensed with the Aam Aadmi Party in fray.
Yeah. But do you think that it's this Gujarat elections or in the forthcoming where we can see, Aam Aadmi Party finally making a mark? Because this time, do you see any hope? Or it's too early maybe for...
when it comes to political parties, it is not at the first go that they emerge very successful. If we look at Punjab, even in the last elections, Aam Aadmi Party had given a very spirited fight. Right? If we look at BJP in the 80s, in the entire country there were 2 seats. The BJP had just 2 seats.
It's always a gradual.
Yeah, so it's always gradual. So this time, I don't see, to be very honest, I don't see Aam Aadmi Party doing spectacularly something, very different than what it is, or springing up a massive surprise. But to write it off would be a mistake.
Because we can the second place maybe.
Even second place, it's too early to say whether Aam Aadmi Party would occupy the role of the main opposition. It's slightly premature for me to comment on that. But definitely I would say that Aam Aadmi Party, if not this elections, next elections, Aam Aadmi Party has made a very impressive entry in Gujarat, and they're doing good groundwork, good spade work. So it is that they're creating a fertile ground for themselves.
True. Recently, when Arvind Kejriwal was in Ahmedabad, he openly declared, he stated that even if Aam Aadmi Party forms government in Gujarat, they will not revoke the liquor prohibition. And on the same hand, if you see that the Delhi government is earning over 9,500 crores through liquor business, they've also revised their excise policy. Do you see this as Aam Aadmi Party's hypocrisy?
I think hypocrisy is too loaded a word, because every party has to take the sensibilities of the region they are, working out from. So Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat, it's a different ball game altogether than what it is in Delhi. And this would, I would say, this goes for all parties, not just Aam Aadmi Party. Like in most the Cowbelt region, most North Gujarat, most North India, most of North India, the BJP has taken a very strong stand, and beef stands banned. But can the BJP do the same in, say, Kerala or northeastern states? So I would not call that a BJP hypocrisy, because they have to keep in mind the local sensibilities,
and act accordingly.
And act accordingly. So it's the regional aspects that matter. So for Aam Aadmi Party, like Gujarat, all said and done, even a daily liquor consuming person, if asked, would vouch for the prohibition policy, however weak it is, however damaged it is. Right? But it is very intrinsic to Gujarat culture. So I would not call it Aam Aadmi Party's hypocrisy. It could be the regional stand.
And Aam Aadmi Party really stand that they are here for the common janta, and they are here for the Aam Aadmi. But on the same side, they are also trying to woo the businessmen of Gujarat, and they are doing this extensively in Saurashtra. Do you think that in Gujarat to win an election, it's very important, to have the support of the business class?
Who isn't a businessman or a woman in Gujarat? Entrepreneurship runs in the DNA of every Gujarati. So the Aam Aadmi Party obviously cannot ignore this class, this segment of the society, because even if compared to farmers, the number of businessmen or business people would be lesser. They are a very influential class who can influence a lot of votes. And at the end of the day, all political parties need money. Right? People like you or me, or professionals or farmers, or the unemployed youth, they are not going to fill up the coffers. So business people and the business community is a very important aspect of any political party's ecosystem.
And at the same time, we see Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia making frequent visits to Gujarat. But do you think they have important local faces? As of now, the only three people they are promoting is Gopal Ityalia or Ishudan or Indranil Rajguru. Do you think that there is dearth of important faces, or you think that they are still doing their best?
See, do faces really matter? Right? Because even when Aam Aadmi Party won Delhi, except 2 or 3 faces, you know, we've seen faces like Atishi who lost elections.
Yeah.
And at that point of time, there were hardly a bunch of half dozen Aam Aadmi Party leaders whom public could recall. So I don't think faces really matter. In fact, if we look at the BJP in the past, or even the BJP in the recent past, right? Mr. Modi had this style that it was on his name. It was not on the candidates' merits or the candidates' popularity that they were picked up.
Yeah, it was on the party symbol and
it was the party symbol, and it was on Mr. Modi's name. That candidates have got elected. So maybe Mr. Arvind Kejriwal thinks and is working on the same manner or adopting the same strategy. Where, and this happens, you know, when like most leaders and especially of budding parties. So Aam Aadmi Party is a budding political party when it comes to Gujarat. It is very consolidated in say Delhi or Punjab, but when it comes to Gujarat, so they would have to go in with Mr. Kejriwal's face. But at the same time, Gopal Ityalia, he is such a powerful orator. Ishudan Gadvi, he has a terrific mass connect with you know, Tier 2 and 3 cities and the rural population of Gujarat. Or Indranil Rajguru is a very important face in Saurashtra. He is also a very well-known and established industrialist himself. So I think it's a good combination that they have. I wish there were many more women. Right, which or women faces that Aam Aadmi Party could rely on in Gujarat.
True. So, any concluding remarks on Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat? Something you would want to add?
I think Aam Aadmi Party has made a very impressive entry in Gujarat, and they are, as you said, they are visible on ground. Still, there are more than 100 days to go for Gujarat elections, but all eyes are on Gujarat because December, elections expected in December, and it remains to be seen what happens. As of now, between Aam Aadmi Party, Congress and BJP, I find that BJP is really consolidated in Gujarat. But and it's not going to be in one go that Aam Aadmi Party is going to, you know, spring a super surprise. But they have started the groundwork. So if not this elections, maybe next elections.
So let's hope for the best. Thank you so much for such insightful answers, and for more such discussions on Gujarat elections and political drama going on in the state, keep watching Vibes of India. Thank you.
Thank you.